Hello! In this short video, I will show you a rather simple strategy that I found and tested. Today, I will be using 4 indicators in my work. With this strategy, I receive quite a lot of signals and can open many trades. And now, I will slowly start setting everything up. So, I will begin by adding indicators to the chart. The first indicator I will need is the Bollinger Bands. I add this indicator to the chart, then go to the settings. And here, I increase the period to 20. And I raise the deviation to 2. Then I go to the Styles tab, and here I leave only the upper and lower lines. That is, I turn off the middle line, and I also turn off the background. After that, I adjust these lines themselves. I will just make them thicker so that they are easier for me to see. After that, I press the Save button. The next indicator I will use today is the moving average. I add this moving average to the chart, then go to the settings here and increase the period to 21. I leave the moving average type as SMA. Then I go to the styles, and here I also repaint this line and make it a little thicker, just so I can see this line on the chart. Then I click on the Save button and add the third indicator, which is called RSI. Here I go to the settings. The period I will use is 7. Then I go to Styles, and here I turn off the middle line, leaving only the top and bottom lines. I repaint the top line green and make it a bit thicker, while I repaint the bottom line red and also make it a bit thicker. I repaint the main line white and also make it thicker. And the last indicator I need today is the MACD indicator. I add it to the chart, then go to the settings here. I keep the fast period at 12, increase the slow period to 28, and decrease the signal period to 8. Then I go to the Styles tab, and here I only keep the histogram of the MACD indicator. I disable the other 2 lines. This is how my setup looks, which I will work with today. And since I will be opening 1-minute trades today, it's very important for me to set up the chart correctly to receive signals for exactly 1 minute. Here, I use the candlestick chart type and I set the candle time frame to 15 seconds. Right away, I'll set 1 minute here for opening trades, and today I will use $300, well, basically as usual, for opening my trades. I've set up my entire workspace. Now I can slowly start explaining how I'm going to work with this strategy. But before we begin, friends, I'd like to remind you that I'll leave a link to this platform I'm working on in the pinned comment. You can follow this link, create an account in 2 minutes, after which a demo account will be available where you can test this and any other strategy absolutely free, without any investments. All it takes is to spend 2 minutes to create an account. The link is in the pinned comment. Now, I'll slowly move on to explaining the strategy. Today, I'll try to explain the strategy right away in practice and open the first trade, after which I'll explain how I enter trades. So, I'm entering my first trade for today, and it's an up trade. So, why did I enter this trade? I opened the chart and saw that the price was near the lower line of the Bollinger Bands indicator. At this moment, I start waiting for a signal to enter the trade. To enter an up trade, I need the price to be near the lower boundary of the Bollinger Bands. After that, I wait for the price to start moving towards the moving average. After this, I start looking at the RSI indicator. To enter an up trade, I need the price to be in the oversold zone, which is below the red line. After that, I wait for the moment when the price comes out of the oversold zone. That is, on the RSI indicator, I need the white line to cross the red line from the bottom up. And after that, I wait for the final confirmation from the MACD indicator. In order to enter a trade, I need at least 2 green bars to appear on the MACD indicator. At this moment, I enter an up trade. That is, I expect a price reversal to occur. And now, for example, the reversal has indeed occurred, and my up trade closed with a profit. Now, I will try to find a setup to enter a down trade and explain how I enter down trades. Alright, I found a good moment to enter a down trade. So, what do I see on the chart? The price was at the upper border of the Bollinger Bands for a long time, meaning it was actively rising. And what did I see? The price began its movement towards the moving average. At this moment, according to the RSI indicator, the price started to exit the overbought zone. This means the white line crossed the green line from above. So I realized that we are gradually moving out of the overbought zone. Then I waited for a couple of red bars on the MACD indicator. At the moment of entering the trade, there were a couple of them here, and therefore, immediately after I got confirmation from the MACD indicator, I entered a down trade. So, with this strategy, I work precisely on reversals. I'm looking for a long move, which could have been either upward or downward. And as soon as the price turns around, I wait for confirmation from several indicators that a reversal is happening. And at that moment, I enter the trade. And just a minute later, my trade for $300 also closes in profit. Here, I found a good moment to enter an uptrade. The only thing is that the rebound was already quite strong, meaning the RSI just flew out of the oversold zone to a value of 50. Nevertheless, because I was waiting for confirmation from the MACD indicator, I had to wait for at least a couple of green bars, so I didn't enter the trade. And right now, I have entered an uptrade for $300. Once again, the price was already at the lower boundary of the Bollinger Bands channel. The price was in the oversold zone, after which I just waited for the bounce. That is, I waited for the moment when the price started its movement from the lower boundary of the channel to the moving average, and I waited for just a couple of green bars and the moment when the price exits the oversold zone. There are literally a few seconds left until the trade ends, and now I will see how it finishes. So, another trade is closing in profit for me. That's the strategy. I hope the video was useful and interesting for you. If that's the case, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give it a like. Since I don't have any paid courses or private chats, all I have is this YouTube channel where I show different strategies. So, the best way to thank me is through your engagement by liking and subscribing to my channel. I also remind you that on my channel, everything I do is share my personal experience. I do not provide financial advice. With that, I will say goodbye. I wish you good luck.